The Reverb plugin helps a ton. I love the EQ that is built in, but I think the best feature is actually the sound of it, the algorithms that they created.
Breathe it in, let it go, feel the high, feel it all, we're running. Running, running, running.
Hey guys, it's one of those rainy German days. These kind of days are just perfect. I really like them because that way I don't feel so bad spending the entire day in the studio. And today is actually an exciting day. I will continue working on my We Runnin' track, and I got a new plugin that I really want to test out and see if I can improve with it my productions. By the way, quick update, my All About track that is now almost 1.5 years old entered now the charts at spot number 32. I think it was in Papua New Guinea. Probably not that many people that have to buy a track to enter the charts over there, but still nice. And also, as you know, the remix contest for my fall track is still running. You got, I think, 2 more weeks left to start the remix or finish it and to submit it. There are amazing prizes waiting for you. So let's actually get started right away with working on music. I want to advance with the track. There was so much business stuff going on in the past days, so today just concentrating on making music. So the plugin that I actually want to test today is a Reverb plugin by FabFilter, and it's one of those Reverb plugins where a lot of people say it's the best of the industry. And with Reverb plugins, it's really that it makes a huge difference which plugin you use. Some reverbs just sound really bad and will make your production suffer a whole lot if you have strange reverb rooms on top of your instruments. Every person, even the ones that are not into music production, will be able to hear it right away. They might not be able to name it and say the reverb isn't that good, but every human ear is so tuned to listening to voices and instruments in natural reverb environments, and if the reverb is off, it just sounds awkward right away. That's what the plugin looks like. It's the Pro R. It's one of the newest plugins by FabFilter, and I already love the design. It has like this dark vibe to it that fits really nice to the new Logic. And what I also can see right away is that it has like this built-in EQ where you can EQ the reverb and probably also see an analyzer. So let me first of all run you through all of the buttons and functions of the plugin. So here at the top, as with every FabFilter plugin, we have the presets. You can choose between ambient, small, medium, and large reverbs. Let's just pick here the artificial cinematic space. The most important knob is the one in the middle. It's the space knob. You can choose between a small space up to a really large space, and you basically switch with it between different algorithms. Despite of changing the size, you can still vary the decay rate with this knob right here. You can see in the middle of the space knob the decay time. And then you have here the brightness knob. What I really love about the FabFilter plugins is that you have this help bubble that shows you exactly what the knob is doing. The next one is character. You can choose between clean, lively, and chorus. I think it's adding more and more reflections, and chorus sounds a lot more vintage. Distance is pretty obvious. You can choose between having a reverb that sounds extremely close and one that is extremely far to place your elements within the mix. Space is clear, decay time we already had. Stereo width is also pretty straightforward. The wider you turn it up, the wider the reverb will sound, or you can choose to have it mono sitting in the middle. One thing I really like is here this little lock. You can lock the dry and wet. I'm using it right now as a send, so it's anyways at 100%. But if you lock it and go through the presets, it will stay at the same amount. But the most interesting part is actually here at the bottom. You have 2 EQs. Let me just change the preset. You can see it here a little better. The bottom yellow line is a standard EQ. You can EQ with it the reverb. You can take away the low frequencies to make it sound cleaner. You can also take away a little bit of the higher frequencies to make it sound a bit darker. But the special thing is really here this top EQ. It is called decay rate EQ, and with it you can EQ the decay, which is quite unique. I haven't seen it on any other plugin, and this can be quite helpful to shape your reverb even more and adjust it so that it sits nice in the mix. At the bottom you have the possibility to change the pre-delay either in milliseconds, or you can choose it by quarters, eighths and 16 to make it fit to the track. You can change whatever the analyzer is showing you, and also of course the volume in and out. Now let me actually work on the track, implement the FabFilter Pro R, and then play a couple of examples.
Turn it up, turn it out, feel the high, feel it now and run. Breathe it in, let it go, feel the high, feel it all and run.
Amazing session. I got really far with the track, and the Reverb plugin helps a ton. I love the EQ that is built in, but I think the best feature is actually the sound of it. The algorithms that they created to get those spaces, they sound extremely clean, and with the character knob, which is my favorite out of all of the knobs, you can have like even more character and make it sound old school, vintage, which I really enjoy. The main part of the track is actually a synthesizer sound that has already a little bit of delay on top of it. It's one of those progressive chord progressions that opens up in the cutoff, something that I really like to do in breaks, to just have like this rising sound. And I've now integrated the Pro R on top of it, and it sounds extremely cool. So first, without the reverb. Which is already pretty cool, because the delay is kind of making up for not having any room on top of it. But now let's turn on the reverb. I really enjoy the sound of it. You should definitely go out and test it for yourself. There is no way I can play to you all of the presets and spaces and settings that are available. I integrated the Pro R also on top of the vocals, and also on top of the guitar, also on top of the drums, with smaller spaces like ambient spaces, so that the drum sounds just have like this ambient feel to them. And one tip, if you're making electronic dance music, always consider, of course, EQing the reverb, and also consider putting a sidechain on top of the reverb. Because if you have, for example, a reverb on the clap and you have like the clap reverb, it should kind of stop before the next kick hits. And if you have the sidechain on the reverb, you can make sure that the reverb will also kind of stop before the next kick, or at least get lower. This makes like this kind of sucking noise that is really nice to have in front of the next kick. It adds a whole lot of dynamic and will just help you to get a cleaner mix at the end. Now let's listen to the same part with the vocals and all other elements, without the reverb and then with.
Breathe it in, let it go, feel the high, feel it all and run. Breathe it in, let it go, feel the high, feel it all.
I still need to edit the vocals, figure out something for the drop part, but that's coming up in the next days. I think like the general vibe of the track is already established, and that's usually the hardest to accomplish. This was a very productive day. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow will be fun. I'm DJing, playing my Final Warning track for the very first time.
Breathe it in, let it go.
If you ever wondered why Germany is so productive, it's not like there's really an option. Just look at this. It's raining already the entire day.